What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, man, Wrigley Logical, back again with another video. And in today's video, man, we're going to be talking about cornerbacks. Okay, now if y'all don't know, cornerback is my favorite position in pretty much all of sports. I think it's actually the hardest, and I think setting that early season tone setter is really important for a lot of corners, and really because you know confidence is number one at the corner position. If you don't have confidence, you're going to get toast, right? Just like Jalen Ramsey said, you got to play with that swag, you know what I'm saying? And some corners, in today's video, we're going to talk about 3 Pacific corners who are doing really good, even though it's been 2 weeks. And we're going to talk about 2 corners who are doing pretty much, I'm not going to say really bad, but they can do a lot better, if that makes sense. But with all that being said, we're gonna get right into the video. Make sure you like, comment, and share, and subscribe, man, and let's get into it. So one of the corners we want to talk about is obviously AJ Terrell. Okay, now if you don't know, AJ Terrell, he had a really great season last year. Really the scheme changed for him. If you don't know, in 2020, when he came into the league, when he had Dan Quinn was famous for that cover 3 style defense, single high look, and so basically the corners were in like an island almost, pretty much in that cover 3 scheme. But the main issue with him was he sucked overall, right? And pretty much AJ Terrell, I'm gonna link the video to this guy. He pretty much talked about how AJ Terrell he bit a lot on double moves. He left his zone assignments and all types of things like that. I'm going to link his video. And pretty much in 2021, after the Falcons fired everybody, like their head coaching staff, the new defensive coordinator allowed him, or their scheme was like a cover 2, Tampa 2 style. And basically, he had a lot more, like, basically in that Tampa 2 style, there's a safety to bail you out if you get burnt. So basically he had a lot more leverage to like jump, because he likes to jump routes and things like that Marcus Peters, Trevon Diggs things. But it was just in 2020, that was just a really bad, like, it was terrible. Like he bit on every double move. Again, like, he was so locked in on a quarterback's eyes that players would run right behind him. And pretty much this year we're seeing like signs of his year 1. Right now, obviously, you don't want to run the same defense every single play or every single year or whatever. So you gotta mix it up. And in the first 2 games, man, I watched the film and I wish I could show you out the tape, but I just can't. I don't want to get copyrighted. But it's just Terrell. He showed many signs of his year 1. And ignore Denzel Ward for now. I probably cover him up, just his face up for now. But concerning AJ Terrell, in week 1, he allowed 6 catches for 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. Majority of his both touchdowns came in the clutch versus Michael Thomas, and then majority of the yards really came from the last couple of possessions that the Saints won, right, on the game-winning drives and things like that. And one of them, like, his eyes were so locked in, it was in a single high look, and basically like he had his assignment, but it was like a delay receiver that came and the curl flat, he pushed him off. He said, hey, this is your assignment now. And basically AJ Terrell, he's seen him in everything, and he just allowed him to catch the ball. And then another one was like a wheel route. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that. And it was a couple other times that even in Tampa 2, which it didn't go towards AJ Terrell, that, like, he just played very poorly, and he allowed a catch here and there. But now we're going to cover up that. We're going to uncover Denzel Ward. And the reason why we have Denzel Ward here is because Denzel Ward was actually supposed to be like that next step this year. Like, I feel like Denzel Ward is a top 10 corner, or at least last year, but this year was supposed to be like his next step, like, boom, like, solidify, right? I mean, he's always been like under the radar outside of Jalen Ramsey, Stephon Diggs, Marlon Humphrey, and guys like that. Like, Denzel Ward, he's just never in that conversation. But in week 2 versus the Jets, he kind of folded, and I see why he's not really in those conversations, man. He allowed 4 catches, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns, man. Now, the one big touchdown that was 66 yards to Corey Davis, it was more so like a coverage bust, but you can say safety's fault, but still, his whole demeanor was just jogging like anyways. Like they thought they won the game already. I mean, you can count it. I'm gonna count it. I mean, because the game's not over with until all zeros are on the board, and that touchdown was already like it was in the clutch, right? And just throughout the game, I mean, even passes that didn't even go his way. I mean, it's just Denzel Ward. He didn't really do all that great to me after watching the tape and watching the games and things like that. So the next player we're going to talk about is, you guessed it, Xavier Howard. Now, with Xavier Howard, it's a bit weird. I mean, I don't know. It's like he also falls in that category of like forgotten corners. And I should have made it a lot bigger. Sorry, but Week 2 versus the Ravens, that was a shootout, obviously, boom, boom, boom. But he allowed 5 catches, 119 yards, and 1 touchdown. And versus Bateman alone, he had 6 targets, 3 receptions, and a 91-yard touchdown. I'll take the 91 yards and 1 touchdown away. He had a really good game actually. But the sad part is he got beat and he got burnt. And like when you watch that play on that long touchdown that Bateman had, it would just say quick slant and then boom, turn up field, and basically, I guess you could say Howard got scared, or like defense got the coordinator got scared, and they wanted him to sag off a little bit. But in my eyes, it just seemed like poor technique. I'm not a DB like professional or anything like that, but just watching it, it was just like, bro, he don't look the same, right? And again, with all 3 of these corners, I understand the season just started, but that early season tone setter is really key. Now, we all know about Jalen Ramsey's Week 1, but in Week 2, he did actually pretty good, so I didn't mention him. But here are 3 corners who are doing really, really well in their position, and they're not being talked about enough. One player we got to talk about is Jamel Dean. Right, Jamel Dean last year, he was hot toast last year, and even like the year before that, like bro was hot toast, right? I mean, but this year he's really stepped up. I mean he gradually got better as the season went on, but I mean, bro is just like locking everybody up. Well, not everybody. It's only been 2 games, but like he's been locking dudes up. Chris Olave and CD Lamb in these these 2 games, right? He's only allowed 6 catches for 33 yards. His passer rating is 13.5, and he has 2 interceptions, which both of them came, I think, versus the Saints, right? And So versus Olave, he had 5 targets, right? Only allowed 2 receptions and 14 yards, 1 interception. Now you can say yes that the pass rush plays a big part, especially versus CD Lamb, because the Buccaneers, they were getting to the quarterback both games. But even when we watched that game versus the Buccaneers versus the Cowboys, I mean, he allowed 9 targets, 5 receptions, 58 yards, and 1 touchdown, 113 rating. Right? I just think that's a big jump. And again, I understand other factors play in, schemes and lining up and pass rushing and pass protection, but just last year, he didn't know what he was doing last year, and it just seems that this year Jamel Dean is playing with a lot more confidence. That's what I see. Okay, that's what I see. Now again, you can say, again, he's not even the number 1 corner, and honestly, I don't think that even matters. I mean, he's number 2 at worst, number 3. But he's still lining up versus number 1 receivers. I mean, he may not be on the number 1 side, which is I think the right side, but he's on the left side, and receivers are going to him, right? If that makes sense. So 2 more guys we got to talk about is DJ Reed and Chidbad Azwi Y'all finna flame me in the comment section. I really don't care. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry, but DJ Reed. I don't know who this dude is until versus the Ravens game when he caught the pick. And then I did some research on this video and I looked at the targets and I looked at everything like that. And bro has actually been balling. Now I didn't know he got targeted 6 times versus Baltimore, and he allowed no receptions, like nothing. And he had the one interception. And then in week 2, I mean, he had a little bit of a down game, I think. But that week 1 game, Lamar Jackson went crazy all game. If I don't remember, he had big plays and he lined up versus Bateman a couple times, didn't allow anything, and yeah, DJ Reed, he set himself up really good this year. Hopefully he has a really great season. The next guy I got to talk about is the second guy doing the Bengals. I'm not going to say his name again. He's been targeted 18 times, only allowed 2 catches. Versus CD Lamb, 5 targets, 2 receptions, 4 yards. And again, I understand pass rush and all this and that, but if you ever remember, he was on the Cowboys and he used to get burnt, toasted up. And last year, he did solid. He was pretty solid, especially deep in the playoffs and in the Chiefs game. Solid, but still, I mean, I just think CD Lamb is supposed to be up there in receivers, and I understand about the certain circumstances, but even with Jamel Dean, I mean, these guys are showing improvement, and I'm not saying that they're $100 million corners. No, I'm just saying that these guys are not in the media and they're playing really well, and I just want to point that out. And that's the whole point of this video. Now we got one more corner. Bro balled out in week 2 last night. I don't know if I dropped it on Wednesday or Tuesday, but Darius Slay balled out, man. We got to talk about big play Slay. Darius Slay, I mean, he's been targeted 17 times in 2 games, only allowed 5 catches, and he got 2 interceptions, dog. That's insane to me. Only allowed one touchdown versus the Lions, I think, on DJ's chart. But a 25.2 rating is just insane. Last night or Monday night, depending on when I dropped this video, versus Justin Jefferson, he locked him up. Right, I watched that game. He was locking him up. He was going crazy, man. 6 targets, 1 reception, 7 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pass breakup. And then versus Adam Thielen, and I know he's out of his prime. He's not the same Adam Thielen, but he still locked him up. Little here and there. He went crazy, man. But Darius Slay, man, I mean, he's always been one of my favorite corners, even back in Detroit. And I'm super excited. This is his 3rd year as an Eagle, and I mean, people are now seeing like what he actually is, and super excited, man. And now he got James Bradbury to be his number 2, so that relieves some pressure off him. And James Bradbury, he's really good. Well, he's solid. Really good is just a different standard. Darius Slay is really good. Super excited for my Eagles, man. I know I had to bring up an Eagle. I had to bring up an Eagle somehow, some way, man. But this is going to conclude this video. Just a quick little touch up, what the media doesn't talk about. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share. We out, man. Peace.